they're out of, Doug, your group is out of Southern California?
Newport Beach, California, and Miami, Florida.
So Newport Beach, which is known as God's country, and Miami, which is pretty good too. So, so you want to give a quick intro, and then you have your deck. Did you do the screen share? Oops, got to maximize that again. Oh, you're up. You're up and running. Perfect. Just have to close that.
Cool. Hello, everybody. As Marty stated, I'm from Newport Beach, California, and we also have an office in Miami, Florida. Technology is not the strength of industrial developers. We were founded in 1972. We're a three-generational company. My dad started in 1972. I started in 96. And my son, who has 8 years of work experience, is getting his MBA at Wharton currently. And he is working with us, and he is our president. We have investors that are pension funds, institutions, private individuals, and family offices. We've developed or acquired over 24 million square feet since 1972. We only focus on infill locations for industrial, and that's very important because of the fact that if you use the analogy of the Inland Empire in Los Angeles, has a billion square feet in the market. The people, when there's a downturn, go from the Inland Empire to the infill because of last mile and because of same-day deliveries. Being in infill is always important, especially in today's day and age. Our average IRR since 1996 is over 50%, and our equity multiple is over 3. We're fully integrated with property management, asset management, leasing, and accounting. We don't do construction in-house because there's people are better at it than us. Here's a partial list of our institutional investors and our tenants. We've worked with CalPERS, Heller Financial, they're no longer in business, AEW, TIA, KeyBank, and our tenants are so diverse. And I'll get into why diversity is very important in the future. Why industrial? Everything goes through a warehouse. Everybody's glasses, your computers, your Coca-Cola, your cups, your desks, everything you see in this room has gone through a warehouse at some time. There are no substitutes. As a result, if you had an office building, you don't need an office space. You could be on your phone, you could be on your computer, or the like. You don't need to be in a retail store. You can buy online. You don't need to be in an apartment. You could be in a condo or a house or extended stay. But industrial, there are no substitutes. What happened with the office market during the pandemic in New York City, it was at 8% vacancy. Now it's currently at 15% because people found substitutes. They moved out to the suburbs or they decided that they didn't need to come into the office, and they quickly substitute with their home phone, their phone, or their computer. And industrial is very important because of e-commerce. People during the pandemic started getting used to buying products online. Me personally, I buy everything online because it's easy. I don't need to go to the store. And with free returns, why not? And so what that does, it takes the middleman, which would be retail, out of the equation. So things are going straight from the warehouse to the end user. And it's essential and hated, which my wife kind of says about me sometimes, but that's another subject. But, you know, there's barriers to entry. Cities don't want industrial. So existing industrial is fantastic because of the fact that trucks tear up the roads, there's pollution, but most importantly, there's no tax base with industrial. So cities don't want industrial in their towns, but it's necessary because what I stated before, there are no substitutes. and everything goes through a warehouse. It's boring, it's predictable, it's solid. The speaker before was talking about not wanting to have an exotic investment as a family office. And it's true, it's tangible. And it's a great hedge against inflation. This building we built about 20 years ago in Anaheim, California. We built it for $50 a foot. The replacement cost today is roughly $400 a foot. And that's just through inflation. And so it's an exceptional hedge against inflation. And it's also a great hedge against market risk. This building, when I bought it, it was raw land, I developed it. And the market was for 200,000 square feet. And so we built into it. But what we did is we said that there potentially the market could change to 100,000 square foot users, to 50,000 square foot users. So we made it divisible. In the 1 year after we built the land and got the building built, the market went from 200,000 square feet to 50,000 square foot users. So as a result, we divided it in four. As you can see, in each corner, we have an office pop out. So we have 4 separate identities for the 4 tenants, and we leased it to 4 tenants. Since then, we've had a combination of 150,000 square foot users, 100,000 square foot users, 50,000, it doesn't matter. And so if industrial is great that way. If somebody were to come in here, this law firm were to move out and a new firm were to come in, I guarantee you all this would get ripped out. And somebody would probably put their office right here, looking over the Brooklyn Bridge. I know I would. It's a beautiful view. It's amazing. And also it's triple net leases, which is another hedge against inflation. It reminds me of the Goodfellas movie. Property taxes goes up, tenant pays. The cost of insurance goes up, tenant pays. Cost of sweeping goes up, tenant pays. And so with triple net leases, any increase in the operating expenses, the tenant pays for it. What we do is we focus on projects that are right around $25 million because it's too small for institutions and too big for private individuals. A private individual investing on a trade deal, he might have bought a building 10 years ago for his business and it went from $5 million to $10 million. He's not going to write a check for $25 million. It outweighs his balance on his portfolio. And institutions don't get excited about writing a $10 million equity check. It's too small for them. And so our market niche is we focus on that $25 million range where there's less competition. And so we're able to get better deals. I had to throw in some industrial corner. When I was growing up, my dad, instead of going to baseball games, we went and toured industrial parks on Saturdays. And so this was my upbringing. And it's in our blood. It's all we do. We don't do apartments. We don't do office. We don't do retail. All we do is 100% industrial nationwide. The industrial base, 17.9 billion square feet. It's a very, very substantive and solid and large. It's not an exotic niche base. It is the backbone of the United States in terms of real estate. Asking rates are up 11% since 2001, compound annual growth rate, and up 4% last year. Vacancy rate, even though it's the highest since 2003, is still only 7%, which shows you the resiliency in the market. To put it in perspective, the vacancy rate in Manhattan office is 15%, up from 8% pre-pandemic. And it shows that 7%, a normal vacancy rate is 5. And if it's at 7, it's the highest since 2003. It's a very, very solid, strong sector of industrial, of real estate to invest. The new construction pipeline is the lowest since 2018 because during the pandemic, there was a lot of building because of the fact that people got used to buying stuff from their couches. E-commerce. I can't believe it's only 16%. As I said before, I buy everything online except for maybe same day groceries. But at 16%, it's a very, very small ratio of retail sales. I see that growing over time when you have Amazon providing same day delivery and or next day delivery, and worst case, 3 days. You don't need things. If you need things that day, it's deliverable and it comes from a warehouse. And so I see a lot of growth in e-commerce, and I see that positively affecting industrial real estate. Interest rates, 20-year highs. And so, as you know, cap rates, lower the cap rate, the higher the value, inverse correlation to value. And so as interest rates go down, which I believe they're going to, the value of real estate is going to go up because the cap rate is going to go down commensurate with a 10-year treasury. Why now? What I said, stable market dynamics, only 7% vacancy, even though it's the highest since 2003. Increasing rental rates, 11% compounded annual growth rate since 2021. Lowest construction rate since 2018. E-commerce is growing 10% a year, which means more and more product is going straight from the warehouse and increasing demand for warehouse and into the consumer's hands. We have the highest interest rates in 20 years. I believe interest rates are going to come down. Tariffs. We have $2 trillion worth of new investments from foreign entities coming in the United States, foreign as well as domestic, such as Apple. And so that is going to increase the demand for industrial real estate nationwide. And then we have our proven track record. We have averaged over 50% IRRs since 1996 when we started taking records, because in 72 we didn't really have computers and I wasn't around. But it's an excellent time to be in this market. I spoke to a conference a couple, what's that, 2 minutes? Shut up, here we go, fast. And so it's an excellent time to be going in. Here's some case studies. This building, as you see in the lower right, this was empty for quite some time. We built a bridge right here. Nobody saw that because we've been doing this all of our lives. We found that opportunity. We put in dock doors that you see there, and we leased and sold it in 4 years. And we had a 21% IRR and a 1.8x or equity multiple. This property, think about this as a pizza. We bought the whole pizza. We sold off each building individually. We sold it. We got a 32% IRR, and the equity multiple was 3.6 on a 6-year deal, 6-year hold period. This property, this was a shorter hold period. We came in, we added dock doors. We spend money judiciously. We spend it like it's our own, which it is. And so what we're able to do is spend it correctly. We got it leased. We got it sold in a year and 2.5 months. And we had a 2.8 equity multiple and a 50% IRR. We're raising a fund for $50 billion, and we also do one-off deals. The terms are roughly 15, we're targeting 15% IRRs, 2 to 5 year holds, as 65% loan to cost. We don't do anything exotic in terms of debt. We aren't high levered. That's why we've been around since 1972. I've never given a property back. We've had great successes. With that, I'll take questions.
You have a question?
Thank you. Great presentation. I am also a global investor in warehouses and in other property types. But I stopped at when you said stable market dynamics. I mean, we have the Panama Canal running out of water for a long time. And then we have the tariff disruption. We have the terms today frequently heard like onshoring, reshoring, and nearshoring. And all that will impact the warehouses, especially in California, where you have the bulk of your portfolio. Last time when we spoke, I asked if that impact the stability of your portfolio in California, and you said, no, we are well established and that does not affect us. While Long Beach, loaded with ships that they cannot unload because the shoremen and other problems, and also a lot of goods are rerouted around South America, around the canal, and taken away business from your region. Maybe the question is long, but I demand 6 months later, since I asked you that in the spring, if you kind enlighten the audience on really the impacts of those disruptions, please.
That's exactly right. California, the rents in Los Angeles are down 40%. That's why we're nationwide, is because we don't want to be tied to one property. And that's why we're low levered, and that's why we don't do any exotic financing to up our returns. That property I showed you, we developed for $50 a foot. We can do any deal. And rents did go up extraordinarily high during the pandemic. They went to $2 a foot in the mid-cities area. Now they're down at about $1.35 a foot. But when your basis is $50 a foot, I haven't bought anything in California for the last 10 years. And that's why. It's exactly why.
What geography
Let's move on to the next question, because you can talk about it at dinner. Next question. Is there any other questions? Fantastic then. Doug, thanks so much. And we're going to see you at dinner time too.
I'll be at dinner. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
We're having our camera guy set up.